Man kwaba at about POG media. So no matter what said down at our kind home and my media and also the Bible some of my Ghana about Ghana political issues and stories are the Bible some POG so no so much of a passo na mo de echo and the air banina or my Ghana. Na and then yeah bo any rand and sim the man any and so any check on mining and sense a match say and also a quarter a quarter no and so a ho da say and I know that Akonta mining manager nso etimi tene new liver ɔno nso ɛsɛ ɔbɛ testify against ɛyɛ Wontumi as ɛyɛ ne CEO anaasɛ ɛyɛ nipa a n'akyɛ sɛ ɔno nso ka ɛyɛ mining ɛyɛ company ne ho n'akyɛ sɛ ɔno nso bɛyɛ witness ɛde ama attorney general no ɛwɔ case wei mu na wei na ɛyɛ TV3 for key point dwumadi a wɔyɛ na anɔpa bi a ɛyɛ Saturday anɔpa bi no ɛyɛ Wontumi lawyer ɛbɛtena dwumadi yi so na ɛyɛ yebisa no to question man say ohun ne say saa dwumadi a attorney general yi a ono so atimi aflipe manager na mana witness no ono so hu ne say na we na or express ne view on saa DSC na ono so ne nsem o kaka na ono so che say the attorney general ne no illegal ontimi enso enfo obi a wa prosecute no entene into witness anya sade a eno so entimi mwa case na wo hwe ne nsem wa na je so ono so ehun bi abono se ono so betimi eti luzi sa case ya akonta mining case a eno so court no ono so betimi luzi ne santi ana na misusu se ono so kire na adwen se illegal se attorney general sa de na busu me ze bejebre ne abawura ensema Wontumi lawyer no enso etimi di tuja.
You had cause to raise concerns about the attorney general's strategy and with these the fourth accused in this case who had decided to serve as prosecution witness. That's the manager of Akonta Mining.
Okay.
Why do you have concerns about the AG accepting him to be a prosecution witness after he was accused?
Indeed. Let us not forget that the fourth accused person then was my client also. And that I took instructions from him. So whatever I had done for him in court was upon his instructions. Now, in course of the proceedings, the Attorney General finds a way to, I don't want to use the word, but to get him on his side. And I thought that would explain my concept of poaching. Gets him on his side, and this guy starts talking profusely. He has filed a witness statement. And I thought that the Attorney General, also serving as the Minister of Justice, has a duty to ensure that the justice system is fair and that to all manner of persons, and that there should not be any attempt to undermine the course of justice. Attorney General's job, as in his capacity as Minister of Justice. And I was warning that it is important for Attorney General to realize that you wear two caps. Don't leave one behind and wear the only one. Because the two responsibilities are simultaneous, and the expectations are that you perform your other work considering that you have another responsibility in being sure that the judicial system is also rolling out judiciously.
No, but why do you describe...
Now, you have engaged the fourth accused person as your witness. What I'm saying, and I'm advising the fourth accused person, who was my client, that when you are applying the law, don't apply them in piecemeal. The whole of Section 59 of Act 30 has provisions beyond the 1 and 2, subsections 1 and 2. And the subsection 4 says that notwithstanding your discharge, you could still be prosecuted based on the evidence in the same facts. So I was just sounding that warning. And criminal action is not time-barred. So any time in your life, you could be brought before the court to face charges. And when you are also given evidence like that, you should also be mindful that when the evidence is taken without the presence of co-accused persons, it could not be binding on the co-accused persons. And again, when you come before a court in future and you have made some concessions, you have admitted some wrongdoing, these are evidence that will come for you to face. And when you have such evidence, you don't need to prefer any further evidence because admission is admission. And therefore, you have to be mindful of what you think will be your evidence as a witness, because the law is also waiting for you one day. That is a warning that I sounded. But on the part of Attorney General, I would have thought that Attorney General would make sure that the judicial process will be better supported within the court. And in any case, Attorney General himself, as an officer of the court in the court, is duty bound to provide even evidence that will work to support that of the accused persons. You are not supposed to seek conviction at all costs. And therefore, an accused person like that, you approach him to come and provide evidence against another accused person. What are you seeking to get? Are you saying that he should, by all means, come and work against an accused person who is also standing before trial? And the chances are that this poached accused...
Well, why do you describe it as poach? Because the gentleman, that's what I was coming to, because the gentleman himself has indicated that he voluntarily,
yes,
without any duress or coercion.
Yes. And he forgets that he had conference with me also. And indeed, he forgets that he had conference with me. And indeed, during the conferencing also, he also indicated to me also that the offers had come to him. And you think that
he told you that
he voluntarily went to him. At what point?
From who?
Check lawyer-client confidentiality.
No,
Has it been breached?
I have not said anything.
So senior,
but I'm only warning that.
Borderline.
No.
They are borderline.
No.
If this communication came during conference,
no.
then the nature of disclosure is limited.
Wait a minute.
Maybe I'm just drawing your attention.
No. I'm only saying that he had conference with me. So when he said that,
so the nature of disclosure at conference. I
have not disclosed what he told me or what I told him or what came between. But I'm only saying that he had conference with me.
Yeah, so leave it there.
No. He had conference with me, and the time of the conferencing and the time of the voluntary action.
Senior is trying to intimidate the witness.
No, I'm not.
Senior is trying to intimidate the willing witness. It's an intimidation strategy.
Very well. And I'm saying that he had conference with me, so you should be careful.
Oh, there's
I see.
You know, as lawyers, this is a strategy that is always deployed by defense attorneys. You see the way he pointed it? He smartly said, oh, okay, be betray me in conference. Be careful. And we won't say much. But that alone becomes a push and certain.
No. But this is and I'll come to you, Mr. Mentor.
I know, you know the intimidation strategy.
Testimony
he's saying that he is complaining about the choice of word poaching.
Yes.
And I say that at least he had conference with me. That is in answer to the accusation of me using the word poaching.
Okay.
I say at least he should he should be reminded that he had conference with me.
Right. That's why I pointed out his
and
own...
whatever I did
narrative
upon his instructions.
I see. His narrative was that he did this voluntarily without coercion or any form of inducement. That is in sharp contrast to your description of he becoming prosecution witness as poaching. That's what I wanted to point out. But this is the basis for his testimony, essentially. He said that he had been promised some money, 20,000 cedis every month, as the MD for Akonta Mining. Wontumi ended up paying him just 4,000 Ghana cedis for fuel. He was promised
these are
the
matters,
V8 never came.
These are matters
and then
in
he
the court.
says,
so our advice
the knowledge of the accused
until we go to court.
And he's talk about the operations of
he has filed a witness statement.
Yes.
So please.
And all the others that
I will not respond to this.
Is this unethical?
He has filed.
I'm not even asking you to respond to this.
No,
because yes, you are.
He has filed his
active
witness
party
statement.
in this case.
It's a public document. Yeah.
Yes, and it's one that is out there, so it's not like we're breaching any.
Go ahead.
God, is this ethical, or it raises concerns as Lawyer Piakobi tries to put out?
Oh, is it ethical or legal?
This is to you.
Okay, so
Yes.
Can I go ahead now?
Yes, please.
Okay, my interest is not the followers here. My interest is now the public.
Indeed.
So let me deal with this in a certain general sense.
Yes.
Listen, law is strategy. The practice of law is about using the law as a tool to get a certain set of goals.
Yes.
All right? So, strategy. That is number one. So, the prosecution has a strategy, the defense has a strategy. And one of the strategies in all war is spying, is to convert an enemy to a friend. Okay? And that is applied here. Now, but there are a few things here which I think I want to explain. One, the prosecutor is not duty bound to find guilt at all cost. A prosecutor's job is not to railroad the accused to the point where they are found guilty. The prosecutor's job is to seek and find truth, including exculpatory truth. Exculpatory truth is if in the course of his work he finds any evidence that releases the accused, he is duty bound to bring it to the fore for the person to go. Now, that duty notwithstanding, it is also the prosecutor's job to find guilt where it is due at the least cost possible. And when I say the least cost possible, the accused person can drag you around for years at a huge cost to the state before you finally fix their, guilt. If, therefore, you have some accused persons who are of a minor degree, because there are degrees to everything, okay, it is proper, it is desirable, it is entirely within his duty
Very good point.
to flip lower level accused persons if they have information which is valuable in the fixing of the guilt of the higher level, like the kingpins. Okay, so let me make this general point that what the Attorney General has done is entirely proper.
It's proper.
It's entirely lawful. However, moral issues arise.
Or even in the legal issues.
Okay.
Even in the legal issues, reference the appropriate law.
I know what we
We won't finish this one today. But
Yes, that's why
the general stuff to the public is it's proper, it's legal, but moral issues arise. Now, those moral issues can later tend to bite you. That's what
But I'm even helping you with the legal issues. Even the appropriate.
You come to you.
Just give me 1 sec.
I'll come to your
Oh,
point.
yes. Okay, good. Now, it is my view, however, that because the AG occupies a public office and he is not a judge, because all trials are public in nature, the flipping of a witness involves the exercise of a judicial discretion. Somebody who is otherwise guilty, or you've accused the person, on the way to prove their guilt, you choose to change that one, okay, so that you flip them. It is my personal view. It is yet to be fully adjudicated that Article 296 applies. What that does is it clears some of the moral and other lingering legal issues. On what conditions will you say somebody who has killed somebody, okay, should not be tried, but should turn around and rather become the accuser of other persons who have also killed somebody? Okay, so we need to deal with these things as we move on.
Okay.
Now, I think Akuffo was also saying something that sometimes when you flip, you are involved in cross.
Someone like POG Media, make sure so be like. Now, so subscribe to your POG Political Media as well. Any day, any book, so I drop a subscription. Now I share enough for so and so. It's me and happy no one who be echo any day ever. Now, in some matches, so a bay that is same day be buy in the coming days. No, say a manager no, and so it's me holding on firmly. Not just on also can't send any day woman. Bisusu Wontumi and so betimi akɔgye over a long period of time. Yes, the Ijinam brand so a 1992 constitution that is almost betimi spend almost 25 years in prison and also a betimi I see in the coming days. I was young as a better also the 18 seminar where children that's it.
Sing yourself. And when you do that, you put yourself in jeopardy. Okay, so it is not easy. Let's say it's not easy on the person who has been flipped. And it's not easy on the AG who has also flipped somebody. You can get into a point where it complicates your life and can lead to the acquittal of the accused person. So it is not that easy, but what people must understand is that this is entirely proper. It puts more pressure.
It's lawful.
It's lawful. It is proper actually, in terms of public policy and other things. But it puts pressure on Akuffo.
Let's say it has
However,
consequences.
Everything has consequences. Okay? But however, that pressure can easily be flipped. So for me, it is important that we understand this in principle. My hope is that these things will be done quickly and disposed of quickly,
right,
and properly and efficiently.
The cases, you mean?
Yeah, the cases.
Okay.
Done, without too much of this
and that's
trading.
just what I wanted to add to.
Dr. Kennedy was nodding. I just wanted to
something to add to what
acknowledge the presence of Edem Senanu as well. He's the coach of the citizen movement against drugs. Because I need to end on this
before we lose it.
No,
just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Quick one.
All that we are doing is in reference to the governing law, and the governing law, mining and minerals, in bracket health, safety and technical regulations, 2012, LI 2182. And I reference sections 34 to 44
Of the mining LI.
of the LI.
But Act 30 is
Yes,
what we are
yes,
working.
yes. And Act 30, I have referred you to subsection 4 of Act 30 59, section 59.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm also referencing you to 34 to
So
40
what's the point? What's the point exactly?
of the mining regulations.
So your point, yeah.
And that goes to support the position you made of responsibility levels.
I see. Okay,
So,
Dr. Kennedy.
that's
just
all that I want to say.
A quick one on this. I come to legitimately.
Their discussion on flipping the witness.
Yes. Not. In
I
this
think
case,
it is
it's
done.
not a flip in the sense of the word, because then the gentleman is saying that. He decided to be a prosecution witness. He wasn't flipped or given any office per se.
In my experience, even though I don't practice law, it is done all the time. And RICO cases and other things, when they are trying people involved in drugs or major crime. So that is entirely appropriate. Of course, there are guidelines that ought to be followed. So I think that if there are sections, the Attorney General ought to explore them, and any person who is accused should do the best to defend themselves. But I think that Attorney and MP Akuffo's comments are interesting. Yes, the Attorney General has a duty for truth, and he's not obligated to convict, but he's also acting in the public interest. Before he brings a case, he ought to believe that probably a crime has been committed. So he doesn't just get up on a whim and go to court. So he must believe that there is probable reason to believe that somebody has committed a crime. And I completely support his willingness to deal with somebody so that he could convict higher ups. In fact, it might be that Wontumi himself, this is just speculative, can say that, yes, you think I am one of the major people involved, but I can tell you the whole story about Galamsey and all the big politicians involved. And in return for that, maybe he himself might not go to prison because he will help us unravel Galamsey involving higher ups. So I say that the Attorney General is on the right path and he should deliver the best he can for Ghana. But he should not accept 80% and all that and let people go. That part of it and nolly prosecute, I don't agree with those.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Kennedy. Edem Senanu, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, just a quick one on this development, the fight against Galamsey, and then also this position that Lawyer Akuffo raises concerns about his former client now becoming a prosecution witness.
Well, let me first of all align with Kofi Bentel and Dr. Kennedy when we talk about crisis. In my view, there's a frighteningly high disconnect on one hand, and on the other hand, a denial that we have a crisis on our hands, and both are bad. The disconnect where people don't see the extent to which this affects all of us existentially. And then on the other hand, the group of people who know that we have a problem, but they are in denial about the magnitude of the challenge that we face. And whichever case, crisis requires radical actions. The question is whether at the moment we are being as radical as we ought to be. And indeed, when the president spoke and said he was unable to call a state of emergency, I had serious, concerns. I mean, in my mind, I wished we had looked at it as a state of emergency. And I was wondering, do the security capos really know where we are, whoever is advising him? Are we going to regret this along the way? Let me take a step back. 3 years ago is when I started this journey with the Galamsey issue, where when Akonta entered the forest, the minister...
You proceed. Hello? I think I lost them, said I know that.
3 years ago is when some of us started this journey. At the time, Akonta money had entered the forest. The minister had said it was illegal. The head of the Minerals Commission had said it was illegal. After 3 months, there had been no action. So some of us were very bored. What kind of society where people are doing the wrong thing with impunity and nobody's taking action? So I agreed with a few people, Martin Pebu and whatnot. We drove to the police station, the police headquarters, to find out what's going on. Fortunately, they took us to the head of criminal investigation, Forsen Akofi, who sent us to the head of investigations, Inko. And I just want to recollect how we seem to have a dysfunctional situation that after 2 months, nothing had happened. And we're told the police or criminal investigation has started no investigation because no citizen had reported. This was a Friday. So we had to go back on a Monday, and I was asking myself, what kind of governance do we have where unless a citizen comes to say, I'm reporting something, no action is taken? Yeah. It reminds me of a situation in Nigeria, and I'm saying this because I want to make some recommendations. This is not the only place where we seem to have a crisis where we are not acting. Corruption is another of those places. But in 2006, 2007, I'd been invited by Chevron Nigeria to help them set up a sustainable livelihoods program. Right. What had happened is that the government of Nigeria, based on the legal regime, was taking, I think, 15 to 20% of payment from the oil companies.
Okay.
And this money was supposed to be going into the communities and spaces where oil resources were being taken, giving back to the community so that they don't get into, the kind of criminal activity that is expected.
Right.
Now, somehow, that never happened. And so you found the young people kidnapping oil company workers, and some of us were brought in to try and change the situation. What happened? The oil companies had to reach into federal reserves. So they were already paying 15 to 20% to government, which was not reaching the communities. They ring-fenced another 10 to 15% to bring some of us as consultants to resolve it. I am suggesting that if government is to lead effectively, I remember last year saying this, that government cannot lead this fight. And at the time, I didn't find the government being responsive. I think that government is going to have to bring on board greater consultation, collaboration, and involvement of stakeholders to more effectively lead this fight.
Right.
And I'm saying that because pointing out is this. The banking system there had to look for additional resources to give back to those communities to stop the young men. I remember some of the communities were so dysfunctional. You go, the elderly people would not speak to us because they said when the young men came, they would beat them up. The resource curse is what they call it. If we don't expand the level of collaboration and working together, the deepening of the sense of the crisis, I am not sure we'll be able to deal with this the way and the trajectory we have taken at the moment. We need more actors on board and more innovative strategies to get results on this matter.
Thank you. And Lord Chamaklo, on this, well, like Kofi Bento, even Lawyer Akuffo himself, all agree that what the Attorney General is doing is legal and is proper, but there is what they call the moral consequences of going on this path of accepting accused persons to serve as prosecution witnesses. Any concerns in there? quickly.
I recall many years ago in my industrial economics class, game theory. And we always had to do with the idea of the prisoner's dilemma, and where you needed to provide incentive for like-minded people. But incentive alone can change their outlook, towards certain things. And I mean, as a lawyer, we have deployed the skills of game theory even in how we project our case and building your case theory. And so when an attorney general decides, or for want of better words, by way of a strategy, decide that, okay, I can use an accused person to get a certain outcome without compromising the basic tenets of criminal justice, that is fair trial. What the focus of the Attorney General at all material time is, how do I either get an acquittal, a conviction, without compromising the basic rules of fair trial? What are the basic rules? So, for instance, the right of an accused person to disclosure. Have you impaired it? So that even if there are exculpatory evidence, you must fully disclose that to the accused person. Have you done that? If you have, you are completely covered by the rules of engagement. Currently in South Africa, there are two people who were to be tried for the murder of two black women who had moved onto a farm at night and they were shot. Now, after that, the police arrested two, a black and a white guy. The white guy being the farm owner.
That's it. So come when I bought Illégàl media, man. I see media. When say about POG Media, there about Ghana authentic political updates and the headlines. I happen also. So basically, I'm happy now. Who the echo and the airbag in my Ghana political space. Now, make sure some subscribers to POG Media and the echo also have drop subscription. Now, I say no for us to answer. So it's me a cabin. So who the echo and the airbag in my Ghana political space. Wait, me so about the comment section or wedding come up at the media. That's it. So come.